Hello and welcome to Warframe. My name's Todd, also known as Mech, and this is of course Warframe. Last time we kind of finished up some parts of the Arcwing quest, started making our way across Mars, and we will continue to make our way across Mars in this part, but we're also going to do the Gift of the Lotus that just appeared, because in some of the first episodes I did recommend that every time you have a chance to get an Orokin Catalyst, Orokin Reactor, Forma, or Exilus Adapter, it's always good to try and get them, because they're hard things to get. Before we do that, real quick though, we're going to go over to our foundry, because we did complete some things. I just wanted to show us grabbing them. So we are almost done with our Ondata. We still need another Morphix to be able to complete the other parts. And we also need a control module, Morphix, and some plastids to be able to make our Rhino systems. Another Morphix. Actually, no, we already have all we need for Rhino Neuroptics. Alright, cool. So that's what we need for Rhino and the Ondata Arcwing. But we are going to go ahead and do our Gift of the Lotus. So that'll be under Alert. We'll go ahead straight into it. One thing I do want to make a note of for this part, this week I'm going to transfer my upload schedule back to the first upload schedule I originally planned out, which will be one upload of Warframe and Terraria every week. But I'm going to make the parts a little bit longer, maybe about 30 minutes, just because currently I'm not getting a whole lot of views on my content.
Defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break
it also,
into the network.
you know, is something I do in my spare time, so I'm not really able to really get this going as much as I would like to. So overall, it's much more beneficial that as time progresses, I'm doing a little bit less of this until I'm actually able to maybe make some money off of it. Actually see my efforts are really making some headway. Otherwise, it's something I kind of just do for fun and as a hobby, because I love playing games, and you know, I'm not much of a show-off, but I don't mind showing what I'm able to do. Maybe giving a little bit of insight into games. Who knows? I've been playing games since I was a little kid, and you know, you never know. You might learn something from somebody, even if that person's not super great at video games. So yeah, if you're expecting multiple uploads this week for Warframe or Terraria, don't be. It's pretty much the long and short of that. Basic mobile defense for this mission here. Nothing super difficult. Just gonna melee our way through it. Nothing really to talk about. We've got just basic infested. After we're done here, we'll be heading towards some of the other stuff we've got to do for completing the Ceres Junction. Or is it the Phobos Junction? I don't remember. It's one of those. Boy, we're having some issues here. That ancient healer's causing us. There we go.
Proceed and prepare.
Ancient healer was causing us some problems, making everybody take a lot less damage. What is Taxon shooting at? There we go. Shooting at something through the wall, I could just tell. So we've kept our red color scheme from last time. I think we might keep that color scheme for a while. I kind of like it. It's kind of hit my fancy, but we'll see.
Terminal spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend.
I would really like to get another color palette so we could experiment more with some of the colors that we could use.
This will take a
But it would take some platinum to be able to do that, and we currently don't really have any of that. So we'll be waiting on whether or not we're able to get some good prime parts throughout this series. Maybe I'll decide to splurge one day and purchase some, but I'd really like the series to be a little bit more baseline, just kind of not really buying anything, just showing off how the game truly is free to play. And how you can even get the things that typically you'd have to pay for just by playing.
Continue to defend.
but we will see how far that goes. Shoot all the dudes. Win. It's very, how do I put it, cathartic to shoot a bunch of guys and just relax near a defense point. Not really worry about anything. Very relaxing. But then again, I play games for that sole purpose of to just kind of unwind, get your mind off of things. Bit of a escapism. It's fun to feel very powerful. Just relax. I don't know. I don't know if that's a shared opinion with a lot of people. I know a lot of people do play games for escapism, but I'm not sure if that's the majority or the minority in that regard. I know they've had a lot of psychological studies and whatnot about gamers as of late. I have no idea if any of them are really, you know, factual or not. I haven't really done my research in that regard. But I don't think it would stop me from playing video games, even if it was a problem or detrimental to my health. Everybody's got to take their stand on certain things, right? But if you've got an opinion, don't be afraid to leave it in the comments. You never know. With so many people in the world, it's not surprising to run across somebody who has a very interesting and thoughtful opinion. Just got to be open to it.
Working on it. Continue to defend.
Going through, man. I really might not be the biggest fan of these missions that you can't just kind of run through. I prefer the ones that you're just able to get your way through by just kind of rushing through it. These timed missions aren't really my favorite. Just because your skill really doesn't affect how quickly you go through these missions. And that's kind of a shame. Not that it's a problem necessarily, but it's just, you know, overall.
But we did it.
Missions that allow you to speed things up because you're better at the game always make me feel a little bit better about my performance. Especially if I'm able to outrun all of my teammates and whatnot. That always is a fun thing to do. And as you're going through some of these missions, I've stated in the past that it's very good to practice your speedrunning abilities. Specifically your jump, your bullet jump into a double jump into a sprint roll. That is truly the fastest way to move through a map, and it really beats everything, even just standard bullet jumps. Maybe not Volt's running speed if you can mod him correctly, but definitely beats just about any other method of standard movement. So it's definitely good to use it to the best of your ability if you're able to. Let's see. So now we have 2 of those blueprints. Fantastic. Once we start getting some resources to be able to build those up, we will do just that. Let's take a look. What are my ranks on my gear right now? Okay, so our Paris is actually right at 28. So 2 more ranks and we'll be able to use our bolter, which will be much nicer. But in the meantime, we will continue to make our way across Mars. Do I want to go Tharsis first? Hijack is a game mode I don't think we've done before, so we should probably check that out. All right, we'll do a Tharsis hijack, so we're making our way towards Phobos, not Ceres. Phobos. All right. We'll come back and go back across Mars to get to Ceres in the future, but making our way towards Phobos is the main objective. Oh, Kremlins. Had to burp. And we are on the cold side of Mars.
We are here
Looks
to
it.
hijack a Corpus rover loaded with valuable cargo and escort it to our extraction point. The Corpus are trying to scavenge anything of value from these crashed ships. This rover is carrying their most important finds. You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors.
So in a hijack mission, unsurprisingly, we hijack something. Said something typically will be somewhat to a defense objective, but it will be moving. The downside to this, as you'll see once we make it to set objective, is very apparent, and it makes hijack one of the, I think honestly one of the harder missions to do solo, just because of how the difficulty on it can be a massive problem. Especially in the later levels, hijack is definitely something you don't want to do without thinking about it. And we just got the achievement collector for collecting 100 mobs. Not a massive not a massive achievement, considering by the time you're done in Warframe and you're like max mastery or have a bunch of different modded weapons and such, you will have so many mods it will be quite ridiculous. Get them all dead and then we'll progress. Thought I had killed that one. Guess I did not. Alright, so we'll open the door. And this is the rover that we got to deal with here.
The rover is active, but wait. The Corpus have remotely corrupted its power cell. Hold on. I will reconfigure the rover to draw power from your shields.
So as Lotus just said, the rover doesn't have any power source. Its power source is based solely on our shields. So the rover will slowly drain our shields as we progress forward. And you do want to keep progressing forward as fast as you're able to without killing yourself, that is, on the enemies. Because it will just keep sending enemies at you until the time of which you pretty much die, or the rover completes its objective. So this mission is pretty much just avoid every bit of damage you can as you're progressing forward. Have Taxon try and suck up as much shields as possible with his ability. You can even make a restore for your shields, and this is probably one of the major places where you'd want to use it in a hijack mission. I keep getting in front of the rover and it keeps running me over, that's why I keep going into that blackout screen there. Note that the rover does have its own health bar, so the enemies can destroy it. So you really got to keep on top of trying to make sure that you're moving forward at every opportunity and keeping your shields up to the best of your ability. Sometimes the best thing to do is just park it for a second, let your shields completely regenerate so you can go in like a set pattern.
The Corpus are pulling back the rover. You need to stay close to maintain control.
But that also becomes a thing, and the fact that the rover does indeed have a time limit on it as well, based on the fact that its life is slowly ticking down by 10 every couple seconds. I don't want to get run over again, because that would slow us down even more. Hijack missions truly are one of the most annoying missions that you can do early on.
Contents will be a huge boost to our cause.
Just because a lot of new players will not be ready for the damage spikes that the rover kind of takes away from your shields. And if you're not used to taking damage to your health, it can be a real problem, or avoiding damage mainly. Let's jump away for a second, let our shield regenerate a little bit, and we'll get closer now. It's all about just moving forward slowly. I'm really using my shock here to great effect. And in the future, if you ever plan on doing this, I would highly suggest you use any Warframe abilities you've got to take out these large groups of enemies, because doing this with purely a bow would be a pain in the butt. Would really like to get an enemy close enough so we can get some molecular conversion though. From Taxon. There we go. Perfect.
The Corpus have regained control of the rover.
There is a hefty time limit on the rover's health bar, but it should be noted that the time limit decreases every time the rover gets hit, so
Looks
doubly
like heavy
bad.
Activity ahead.
Those drops, of course, that I'm referring to are the restore packs you can get for your shields, and
The rover
this is
taking
definitely the
damage.
one
The
time that
Corpus
they're
would rather
massively
destroy it
useful.
than let us escape with its cargo.
staying behind it or on top of it is probably your best option when it comes to this sort of mission.
Extraction point. Keep fighting.
But staying immobile while you're taking such damage to your health is not necessarily the best. And it would be better to let your shields regenerate just a little bit, so you can actually move the rover a good amount of space before it really just sucks it all up. Now, I'm not certain if that's truly the best strategy for this, but it's one that I found works the best. At least when we're dealing with a shield loss problem here. You do want to make sure that you get close up to it, that is, every once in a while though, to prevent it from rolling backwards. But pretty much doing that and killing everything around it, you'll make it. Eventually, that is. Would be better if we weren't inching our way forward, but beggars cannot be choosers. It's especially important that while you have your shields up, you actually don't take any hits, or as many hits as you can, because of the fact that your shields will get drained by the damage, and then you won't be able to move the rover, and it's just an endless hate cycle of problems. I don't have any energy. I kept spamming one. I was spamming my shock ability, but I realized I didn't have any energy. We are almost to the end here, though, and I think we're going to make it. I hope. Oh man, I'm out of bow ammo. That's not great. Out of bow ammo, out of shields, and out of time. This really isn't the best day. Taxon, I could really use some help here. Jumping and moving is a great option for trying to get out of here, and I think we're almost, yeah, just barely made it. That was getting hairy there at the end. Hijack is definitely a game mode where having more players is extremely useful, just purely because of more shields, if for no other reason. But I think we did alright, considering we did it solo, and there are many other ways to do it solo, as I stated previously. Let's see, I will show off those shield restores, because I think we've got the blueprint for them. So the shield restores right there. If we really wanted to, we could get some more shields by throwing one of those down, and then hijacks kind of become trivial. Alright, so Gravitas. Gradivus. Gradivus? Yeah, I guess that's how you pronounce that. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we will complete the Phobos Junction, or at least start working our ways towards completing it. Skip that. Pretty much can tell what it
I need you to
is.
sabotage this ship's reactor. The reactor is a complex system. Start by removing the coolant cells. My intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their exact location. Search them out if you are willing to shoulder the added risk.
I would bother with searching out those caches, but again, it really takes up a lot of time to do that. And it's not super critical to our mission to do that, so I'm just going to skip ahead worrying about it. If I see one, I'll pick it up. Oh, Morphix. I will totally grab those, though. Morphix, again, get us what we need for our Ondata and our Rhino, which we are on our way towards building. Might almost be worth it to actually find those caches just to see if we could get some extra resources, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. If this was your playthrough and you're just kind of going through it leisurely, it probably would actually be worth it to try and get the caches just for that exact reason of getting the resources. Let's see. Okay, so you could open this with the hack security doors right there, but I already know that this is here. And I know that I've got silent weapons, so I'm just going to take out the cameras and go through this way. Open it up, and we're good to go.
Coolant cell extracted.
Easy peasy. I don't know if we've done one of these types of sabotage before, but it's pretty much what you'd expect. Just don't set off the alarms as you're going through here. Pop out the coolant
reactor is
cells,
going into stasis.
and you're good to
Now
go.
is your chance to complete this sabotage. Use whatever you can to make sure it never works again.
Okay, we are
Coolant
good to go
cell
there.
has been extracted.
Let's see. Okay, so now that we've completed that, we can move over here, take the fuel cell, not the coolant cell, put it back in, and we're gonna make this thing go
Cell
boom.
reinserted. When the reactor is restarted, this will trigger a meltdown.
There was totally a corpus just standing right next to this computer, but I don't think he saw me. Yeah, he wasn't paying attention.
Destroy the fuel injectors.
That guy is the worst security guard ever. I'd say fire him, but he's already dead, so...
A blast door has blocked your evacuation route. Find a way to open it.
And this is just basic find the control panel to hack the door. Not anything special. But now that we've sabotaged the reactor, the place is kind of exploding. And there's a bunch of fire all over the place. Which would be problematic if we were really worried about it, but honestly we're not.
Your sabotage is complete.
Let's get rid of
Get to
that.
extraction.
Okay. Thankfully we do have a good amount of shields on our vault here, so we're really not afraid of much, even if they're shooting at us while we're doing our hacking. I'm a little on fire, just a little. It hurts a little bit. My tootsies are a little bit warm, but I think we're gonna make it through just fine. And that would be, of course, the fire piles that I'm talking about, because you step on them and it'll set you on fire. And ow, ow, why did I have to show that off? Alright, so we found 2 more effects. Fantastic. Completed this mission. We've unlocked our way to the Phobos Junction. I think we will see what the Phobos Junction needs to be unlocked, and we might do a little bit of that and then probably call it an episode. I did say I was going to make these a little bit longer, but not a whole lot, just because I don't want to be here forever, and I only have so much time to make these episodes. Let's see, so we need to scan 3 Cephalon fragments, defeat 150 enemies in a single mission, and open 3 Lith relics. Currently, none of the Lith, we don't have a Lith Void Fissure open to us. Don't really have any mission that we could truly... Well, we might be able to do it for maybe the excavation or defense to kill 150 enemies. Scanning the 3 fragments will just be something I'll probably do off camera. I've shown off Cephalon fragments before. They're the little blue things that you can scan with the codex scanner. And we will have to just unlock these relics at some point, but let's see. Maritalis. So that'd be on our way towards the Cirrus Junction. So we can't unlock the Cirrus Junction until we've already gone to Phobos, so definitely gonna have to do Phobos first, but it'll take some time for us to get there. Let's see, do I want to do defense or excavation? Well, let's change it over to public, and we'll do defense. I don't think that would be a bad thing to do. Alright, we'll do 1 set of defense just to kind of make our way towards Ceres. Won't be able to unlock it. Maybe in between parts I will work on getting the Cephalon fragments. Maybe not, we'll see. We will definitely, in the next part, be working towards Lith relics and making sure that we can open enough of those to open the Phobos Junction.
The enemy is at our doorstep. You must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
Oh, I did so well getting down the large drop there without getting a hard stop, but the second I jumped off the little stairwell, I got a hard stop. You might see me refer to the falling animation where you land on the ground very hard as a hard stop. It just kind of stuns you for a second, and it's because you didn't slide or do something to prevent yourself from taking that said hard stop. Boy, killing anything here is going to be tough. I can tell these guys are pretty seasoned. But we could probably get 150 if we're lucky. We've got 3. That's a good start. It's a better start than none, I guess. We will definitely be able to complete this mission, though, because these guys are just mopping up things. It looks like we got a Valkyr and a Nyx in the group with us. Definitely some high-level players, but not super great if we're trying to get a lot of kills, because I'm sure they'll take a lot of them from us. I guess that's not a super bad thing, because it ensures we complete the objective there. I guess I could focus on trying to give our group here speed, so we're not running slow. That would also be pretty important. I don't know if I've made mention of the ranks in reference to your Warframe and how that affects your abilities yet. I don't think I have. I'm going to go over it just real quick here at the end of our little episode. As you rank up your Warframe, your abilities rank up as well. There's 3 ranks for every ability. Typically your last ability or your 4th ability will be the last ability to rank up to the 3rd rank. But as your abilities rank up, they become improved. The duration gets longer. The ability strength is stronger, so they do more damage. The range is probably bigger, depending on if it actually has a range or not. So the higher level your Warframe, or rank your Warframe, the better your abilities overall. So make sure to rank up your Warframe fully before you truly give it like a good chance. It also is very important to understand that mods are a huge part of how good your Warframe will be. So if you try a Warframe without modding it fully and don't think it's any good, come back to it after you have the chance to get enough mods to truly change the way play is, or it plays, because that'll really help you out. It'll give you a different perspective on things. I really didn't like Volt when I started playing Warframe because he seemed really weak. He didn't have a lot of health. He doesn't have a lot of strength to start him out. His abilities don't seem all that impressive, at least unmodded. But once you start adding mods to his abilities and you improve him with maybe some health or armor, he truly becomes one of the best Warframes in the game. And that's probably the main reason why I chose him. Starting out this series here is because even at the end of the game, he will be massively helpful to us. Whether we're hunting some of the endgame enemies, or doing some endgame missions, or just messing around, really. There are a lot of memes in Warframe, and one of the very first was most certainly Volt and his ability to speed everything up. Because if you get that speed going at a very high power strength, it's ridiculously fast. You can go through so fast through a map that your character will hit doors because the doors don't have enough time to open before you get to them. And that's always kind of entertaining. Though I think they might have actually changed that a while back. I don't seem to run into that issue as much as I used to, even on my other account, which has a Volt with much more power strength and sprint speed. So it could be that they changed that. I'm not sure what they did to change that, but it's possible. Alright, so we've reached our first 5-wave set, and they want to continue, and I guess I will continue as well.
Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
If we manage to actually get a full 150 kills, that would be fantastic. I'm not going to be super worried if we don't manage to do it, though. After all, it's just kind of a chance sort of thing if we're able to. It would probably take a full episode maybe to even get that amount of kills, at least starting out like this. So we might have to do that at some point. Just do a full set of defense for an entire episode. Or at the very least, long enough to be able to get those kills. I'm just hoping it doesn't take forever. We got 52. 52's not bad to start out with. So, of course, because defense and things like survival and excavation are endless, you can just keep doing them, so getting that 150 kills, of course, isn't very difficult. Even for us starting out. Making sure to pick up all that delicious energy and trying to use it to get kills. Gotta get every kill we can, especially since we're competing with the other three to get some good kills here. I really haven't been in a good position to use my fourth ability, which is kind of a shame. My fourth ability is Volt, of course, is Discharge, which is fantastic for killing tons of enemies. It would be better if we actually had some ability range, though, on it. Volt's fourth ability with a lot of ability range is amazing. You can cover an entire map and discharge enemies. It's funny just seeing numbers pop up at the side of your screen because an enemy somewhere across the map died. But we'll have to make do with our piddly little shock, which is okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Mag, Valkyrie, and Mag. So we got 2 Mags and a Valkyrie. I thought that that was a Nyx, but I guess I was wrong. It must be a Valkyrie. I mean, a Mag. Is it a Mag Prime? I think it might be a Mag Prime. Yep, it's a Mag Prime. I'm not certain why they're doing these early missions like this. Especially as such a late game player, I don't think they would really need to do this sort of thing, but I'm sure they've got a reason. A lot of late game players will come back to these early missions to farm resources, of course, so they can build stuff later on. You'll find very often, especially in the late game of Warframe, that you used up all your early game resources and now you don't have them anymore. You got to go back to good old Mars, some of the other early planets to get some. Earth is a big one. Earth definitely has a lot of good resources that they'll be coming back for. Let's see if we can't get that last guy before the mag gets him. Where is he? There he is. Or she. I think the Heika Masters are actually she's. Not positive in that regard, but I think so. I don't know if we've seen the Heika Masters yet, but they summon the Heikas, like the cats. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they're like cat ladies who have like flamethrowers. Annoying enemies later in the game because they have a lot of health. But overall their abilities aren't super troublesome, so not a massively annoying enemy like the bombards and napalms. Just a minor annoyance. If anything, I'd say that they're actually kind of good for certain things. Just because the fact that they summon all those cats, if you have a frame that can take advantage of like health steal or something, having a bunch of enemies around you is a good thing. But that, of course, doesn't apply to everybody. In some frames, it's just an instant death sentence to have a bunch of enemies around you. Thankfully, the cats, or the Heikas, or the Kavats, whatever you prefer to call them, are melee enemies. So, not super terrifying. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, we got another shocking touch. Our first shocking touch for a melee. And we've also killed 114 enemies. Good, we're making our way. If we can kill just a couple more, about 40 more, we will have killed enough for unlocking the Phobos Junction. I may decide to go 5 more rounds, just because we're already there pretty much. That is, if this group decides to continue. If they don't decide to continue, I don't think I'll go by myself. Just because I don't see any major benefit. At least not at the moment. Wow, that heavy gunner was ziplining while it was shooting. That was kind of impressive. else we have here? I really wish that Mag would give us some energy if she was able to. I think she's... I'm not positive on this, but it seems like they're probably higher enough mastery to be able to have completed certain quests that allow you to get energy later on. But let's see. 5 and 8 mastery level. Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah, we'll continue. One more time.
To defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
I think most of them actually would have high enough mastery rank to actually get some of the quests done, but we'll see. Maybe they just haven't gotten to that point yet, and they're just kind of taking it easy. I am kind of rushing through this whole thing when it comes to mastery. I'm not really focusing on leveling up. I'm focusing on unlocking a lot of the star map as fast as possible, because I find that to be the better path forward. But it's not always the best path for certain people. A lot of people like to check out a lot of weapons and things of that nature before worrying about unlocking the star map. Cool. Lots of dudes to kill. That's an eviscerator. I don't know if we've seen eviscerators yet. They shoot like saw blade looking things, and they're also... I think they also have seeker mines, but I'm not positive. Maybe that's just the pure seeker guys. I feel like I've seen them have seeker mines. But they definitely have those saw blade guns, which are the miter guns. One thing you might have noticed about Warframe is that you can get a lot of the enemy's weapons. And pretty much every weapon that an enemy has, you can get yourself. Which is really kind of a cool thing, because if you like the way a weapon looks in particular, you can pick it up for yourself and test it out. Let's see. Okay, so we've already completed. I was just looking at my objective there to see if I had completed it for the extra affinity, and we had. Alright. That cat was definitely giving us all a bit of a problem. I'm just going to keep this lady shocked, and I guess that Mag is just going to destroy her. That Mag Prime has the Paris Prime, from the looks of it, which is effectively like our little Paris, but much, much better. The Paris Prime is probably one of the best bows in the entire game. Not to say that bows are super great, though. You'd think they'd be like a very strong weapon, considering the downsides to them. But compared to sniper rifles and shotguns later on, they're really not that great. But maybe I'm a little bit biased. I just don't like the fact that they have such slow fire rates because of the charge mechanic. And the fact that they really, unless modded for specific things, don't do a massive amount of damage. It just seems to me like something that has so many drawbacks would have more damage or like more utility, something. Oh, so the Heika Masters also put this fire effect on the ground. If you walk in that, of course, you're going to be set on fire. But I figured that's no surprise to anybody, especially not with what we just saw in the last mission. So one thing to notice about this mission as we're going through it, this has kind of been one of the longest missions we've been on so far, and Taxon's taken quite a good amount of damage. I stated it before, but I'll state it again. Once Taxon's dead, he's good. He's good as gone, unless you go down yourself and get revived. That will be the only time you'll be able to get your sentinels back. So it's very important that as you're doing these sort of missions that you avoid damage to like AoE damage, such as napalms and things like bombards, so you can keep your sentinels alive with you. Napalms in particular have always been a massive nuisance when it comes to trying to keep your sentinel alive. Oh man, we got lots of heavy gunners coming through. I'm hoping we do not fail this. I don't think we will. With the fact that we've got a Mag Prime and multiple mags in particular, and a Valkyrie, I think we'll be okay. Even with my terrible Volt play here. One of the things a lot of people expect when they see a Volt in a group is the speed buff going pretty much 24/7, but I just don't have the energy regeneration or the duration to really keep that going. Ability duration plays very heavily into Volt's speed because of the fact that it has such a short duration at the base, or baseline. But I will try and keep it going for as long as I'm able to, just to help out. Let's see, have we gotten enough kills? We have. So we've gotten all the kills we need. The next time we're finished here on the 15th wave, I will call it. Because I think that will kind of round us out for a good episode. This has actually been longer than any of the previous episodes in the past few weeks. And it will serve as a good buffer as we go through the week here. As stated, in the future, if I start seeing that I'm getting good subscribers and views and things like that, I will change my upload schedule to accommodate for more videos, maybe even longer videos, even than I was doing previously. But right now, it's just kind of a hobby, so I don't see any reason to overdo myself and kind of fit schedules that weren't really working out for me to begin with. Better to make schedules that work for me so we can do this at a more casual pace. It was also kind of weird doing 2 Warframe episodes per week because I didn't really have a lot to talk about in the second episode, whereas now I've got a good amount of stuff to really kind of go over. And we'll have enough stuff next time because we'll be ready for next time. Getting them all deaded. Alright, cool. Murder everybody. Basic objective. It does help that we're getting lots of energy from these guys. I'm not sure if that's caused by one of the other Warframes or just that we're getting lucky, but seem to be getting a good amount of energy. It really does benefit you on frames like Volt and Mag to have lots of energy. They're just so reliant on the fact that they don't have a lot of health to have lots of abilities. And when you really do have those abilities, it's amazing. Oh, getting knocked over. Taxon's almost dead. I think I'm going to dip out for a quick second. Let's throw up a shield. Oh, that's a bombard. I am really glad I threw up a shield. I don't know if it was massively helpful because it appeared the Valkyrie just ran in and murdered everybody, but I think it helped. I am going to head out now. And everybody's going to join me from the looks of it, and we completed a lot. Oh, cool. Alright, so we got some relics, which will help us when we're trying to crack open some relics for the Phobos Junction. We completed our objective for the Phobos Junction for killing 150 enemies, and we maxed out our Paris. So I will leave this group here. Oh, we also got a mastery rank up. That is amazing. Cool. So next time we will do the mastery rank up. Let's see, we will open some more relics so we can get the Phobos Junction, and maybe in between parts, maybe I'll scan those Cephalon fragments. Or maybe not. We'll see. Depends on what I'm feeling like. We have enough time for next time. But this time around, we'll swap over to our Boltor, and we will start using our Boltor next time. Oh, don't have enough points to put that in. I'll just leave it empty for now. As that ranks up, we'll get more points. Awesome. So that'll finish this episode, and next time we will do a bunch of different things. But until then, goodbye.